Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, Just Some Bodhi's Opinion. My name is Bodhi, and today I'm going to do something different from my Wheel of Time content so far. And I'm going to be talking about Squid Game and my reaction to it. And the reason for this is actually because this is the first K drama that I've actually finished. Please don't judge me. I only got like halfway through Crash Landing on You, and I almost finished My Love from the Stars. So my experience on K dramas have been on the romance side, and I ended up watching because my son had ended up watching video games inspired by Squid Game, and so I was very curious, and then everyone was talking about it as well. And it was only 9 episodes. And it didn't require so much time from me, so I ended up watching. Anyway, so this is my spoiler filled Squid Game review.
Just somebody's opinion.
Okay, so I'm gonna divide this review into four. I'm gonna be talking about the characters, the games themselves, um, random shit, and then the ending. So let's talk about the characters. So the main character Gi-hun was this, relatable, bumbling idiot who didn't have much skills besides being very friendly. I super related to this guy. I really felt for his, poverty, and I just really felt for him because if I were in the Squid Game, I would literally be him because I'll just be trying to make friends with people and be like, yeah, let's work together. Yeah. And then Sang-woo, the cold-blooded guy. I said this to my wife. I said, if you were in the Squid Game, you would be Sang-woo. You'd be the one who'd be able to, cut off your heartstrings and just go for the prize. But damn, he got cold really, really fast. Like, just on game two with the sugar thing, where he puzzled it out that it was gonna be, that sugar game that Korean children would play, and he went straight for the easiest one, and then he made his team spread out, right? He made his team spread out. I know that he had that moment of conscience where he was like, Gihun, wait. And then nope, go ahead, Gihun, do your freaking umbrella thing. I don't know what he would have been thinking at that point, because at that point where there were so many people, I would have guessed that he would attempt to get the team through. And so after that, Gihun was, a bit suspicious about him because he had that, sense of there was that hesitation. And then you just see Sangwoo keep, going through that path of practicality. At the tug of war, he didn't manifest that so much, right? Because he had everyone get their own partners. And so they ended up with, a few girls and the old man. More on that later. And you could see that he was the genius, right? Who helped make them win the tug of war, besides whatever the old man had said. But after that, oh my god, like the marbles game where he went fucking cold and just he just tricked Ali, who was, super trusting him that he was gonna have a plan. And then, oh, that was so freaking heartbreaking. And then on game five, with the glass jumping, where he pushed the guy at the end just so that they could all go through. And I mean, I understood what he was thinking, but damn. And then the last one where he killed the North Korean girl. So that's my wife, guys. I say that as a compliment. She would totally, rip rip someone's heart out. Anyway, on to the other characters. And oh my god, why was there so much characterization for all of these characters? Like, they gave backstories for everyone. So I was like, my wife says that I have a polishin, which in Chinese translate to I have a glass heart. It's very fragile. And this is the reason why I don't watch many dramas, because my heart is very fragile. But damn, they gave so much backstories for everyone. I mean, I love the North Korean girl. She's like this tough, no nonsense lady with a little brother in an orphanage. What the? And then we get Ali, the Pakistani, who has a wife and child, a baby, who was just depending on him. And I love Ali so much because he was the guy who saved Gihun from the game one, right? With his sheer strength, he just grabbed Gihun from falling, and that was like I was like I want him to win, guys. Okay, who else? So we've got the bully, the bully who's a coward at heart. I like the character. I mean, I again, it's one of those things that I understood. And then I like the talker girl, the one who kept like basically selling herself to any team. I really liked her character. I super found it funny when she was trying to distract the guards, at the very beginning when the North Korean girl was like spying around. So that was cool. And then finally, we've got number one, who, again, spoilers, who I totally called it. I remember telling my wife when I was watching. So my wife had watched Squid Game first, and then, she berated me to, finish it as well so that she could talk to someone. When I first watched episode one, and I first met number one, I literally told her, oh my God, what if this guy is the mastermind behind everything? And it was true, guys. But more on that later. Yeah, so those were my thoughts on the characters, and they were very compelling for me. So I was rooting for every one of them. I imagined that some of them would die, but I didn't expect everyone to freaking die. So let's talk about the games. So game one, the red light, green light, that is currently the most iconic game, and it was also my favorite. It was the most brutal, and it was the most all encompassing. I guess it was the most. It had the most impact, I guess, because it had a lot of physical activity, and it was so brutal. And until now, my son continues to play this game, and he calls it the Squid Game because that's how he was exposed to it. He wasn't exposed to it with friends. He was exposed to it with Netflix. My goodness, what world are we in? That jingle is in our brains forever. Kokowa kochipia sumida. Anyway, and then so we get to game two, which is the sugar thing, which I guess was okay. It was fine. Like I found it okay, cool. Um, Time pressure, And then we get to game three, the tug of war, and that was pure awesomeness. I don't know if that was kind of cheating with number one giving the strategy. And also, was any of the upper management like afraid that they might die? Because I mean, anyone looking at that team would have thought they're gonna die. But that was so awesome because that was like underdog winning, teamwork, and then that moment of panic when they were gonna fall, and then they said, let's go for it, and then try and then pull back. That was cool. I really liked that. And then we get to game four, where they're told to pair up. And then, Gihun was gonna go for Sangwoo. And then Sangwoo right away got Ali. And then, because this is so heartbreaking, because everyone was going for people they trusted. And then, of course, they freaking flipped the script, and only one person would survive through it. And again, this was so heartbreaking for Ali and Sangwoo. I feel so bad. That was where Sangwoo like literally ripped out his heart for the money. And then the North Korean girl had a decent storyline as well. And finally, Gihun and number one, that was also heartbreaking because you could see that Gihun was like thinking on his ethics and thinking, this old man's gonna die anyway. Let me just trick him into going through it. And number one knew all along and was just playing around with it. And then we get to number five, the game five, which was the glass jumping, which is cool. I guess I it was cool to watch, and I guess it was interesting. And because there was less people already, it was just pretty harrowing. And then we end up with game six, where it was the Squid Game. And until now, I still don't understand how to play the Squid Game. But I guess it was poignant. So it was like Gyun versus Sang-woo, and then, you know, I guess if I knew what Squid Game the game was, I would have been more invested. But here I was just thinking, okay, childhood friend, and then Gyun was gonna try not to win, and then Sang would just kill himself, which was the easy way out for Gyun, morally speaking. So that those were my thoughts on the games. Loved Red Light, Green Light, and the Tug of War. And I guess the glass jumping. The marbles was pure heartbreak. The sugar was okay. The Squid Game, fine. It was fine. Um, Now let's talk about some random bits which are still bothering me. The police storyline. I really liked the police storyline just because it gave us a peek behind the curtain, and you could see that most of these people were themselves trapped within this game that they were all playing, right? Because they were also being watched, they were also being monitored, and they just had to follow the hierarchy. So it was cool. The fact that the brother that the policeman was looking for all along was the manager. I should have gotten that. I should have thought that was the twist. I didn't. So that was a cool twist for me. What I didn't like was the fact that the manager reveals himself, and then the policeman dies, but the manager doesn't get shot by his subordinates, because wasn't that the lesson, like two times in a row? I think the lesson was, if you expose yourself, you should just be killed, because that happened after game 2, and that happened during the co-conspirators who were harvesting organs. Like, why didn't he get shot? Inconsistent. That's hypocrisy right there. Finally, the most random bit that I wanted to talk about, or rant about basically, were the VIPs. Oh my god, why? Number one, why did we have to have VIPs? And number two, even if we did have VIPs, why did we have to have non-Korean VIPs from actors who most likely were picked off? No offense to the actors, but who were very amateur like, basically. And I was that brought me out of it. I was like, what's happening here? It sounded so fake, and it just sounded so fake. I would have loved to have like them all to have been VIP Koreans who were just there to, have fun and watch things. I also don't understand why the VIPs came for basically, so the VIPs came just for the glass jumping and the Squid Game, right? They were watching everything else on their TVs wherever they were, and then they went in person for the glass jumping and the Squid Game, which I felt was like, if I had been a VIP, I would have gone for the red light, green light. If that was my jam, then I would have watched that, because it was so bloody, and I could see everyone getting shot. Like, that's where I would have gone. But I guess because they were also betting on things, so I guess, oh my god, I'm just remembering one of the lines, which was one of the guys wanted a 69 because 69, and then he went for 96. It was so weird. I don't get it. Why were there VIPs? Or why were there these VIPs? Anyway, let's get on to the ending. Like I said before, on number 1, I definitely called it. Like, I suspected there was something off with number 1, especially because he was right there at the beginning. So some people don't like how the last episode was like a very slow episode. I liked it because to me it was a breather from all of the killing, and it was good to follow around Gihun, who had won but was not using his money because he was so traumatized. I felt that was very on brand of him. And then he gets called by his marble buddy, and then the reveal, and I like the opposing philosophies of the two, and Gyun still believes in the heart and kindness will win. And funny enough, number one dies before he sees that Gyun won, and there was someone who was gonna help that homeless man, and that wakes up Gyun, right? That wakes up Gyun, and then he goes to a barbershop, gets a makeover. I don't understand the red hair. I'm I'm really I hated the red hair, guys. I was like, what the fuck? So the red hair thing happened, and then he picks up the brother of the North Korean girl, deposits him to Sang-woo's mom with a briefcase of money. And another thing that pulled me out of the experience was when Sang-woo's mom opens the briefcase and it's all the money. She suddenly goes out to find where Gihun went. And I'm like, ma'am, you don't leave the money open like that, just there. Close the money. I was like, the money, the money. Anyway. And finally, at the very, very last part where, he obtains another card and he was on the way to the US to go to his daughter, and then suddenly he decides not to go anyway. I was like, no, don't go back. Just go to your daughter and shower her with money. Why? But I mean, I guess I understood it from his point of view. But again, unreliable father. No one's winning dad awards here, and then we cut off with that where it's like, okay, so there's a season 2, and there, that was my experience of Squid Game, my first ever K-drama to have finished, and I liked it. I just got out of it for some of the parts, but until now I feel very heartbroken thinking of certain parts of it, and very like awesome for other parts of it, like the tug of war, and just the thought of having billions of dollars in my account, like that would be nice. But to kill everyone, no. My wife would win. My wife would win. And I really like the concept of Squid Game, basically. It's not an old concept where the super rich will find other ways to, relieve the itch. And they start betting on humans instead of animals or whatever. So that was cool. And the cool twist was that it was Korean childhood games that were being used as the games to eliminate people. And I guess I would have gotten more impact if I actually knew about these games. The only one that I would have played would have been the red light, green light, and the tug of war. The marble one, I guess it's also very childlike, where it's like, we make it as we go along, and the person dies. And then I guess the glass bridge was basically hopscotch, right? Which I didn't really play. But again, I really found that it was a great twist, and it was a viral twist. You could see everyone playing it. And again, my son has not experienced these games as a child. He has experienced these games with the lens of Squid Game already before playing them. Yeah, so that's what I thought about Squid Game. Until now, my son continues to play Red Light, Green Light with me and singing that song. Kokowa kochipiya sumida. Yeah, that was it. If you liked listening to my rants and stuff I talk about, please like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about Squid Game. Let me know if you had watched it. Do you like K-dramas? Are you judging me for calling this a K-drama? I don't know. I'm very new at this. But this is what Netflix has done, and internationalized to the world, guys. If you didn't like what I thought about this, just remember, it's just somebody's opinion.
Just somebody's opinion.